Hello everyone, and welcome to the final DPS guide. Before I go into revising old guides and making them better, Black Mage mainly. That was the first guide I did. I've come a long way since then. It's been 2 months, 3 months now? Man, time flies sure does when you're starting to work on actual videos. So what are we talking about today? Well, the final class, the last class I saved for last, one of the easiest classes in the game in my personal opinion. I could be wrong, there could be easier ones, but it's not the hardest, but it's pretty easy. It's called the Bard or Archer, depending on what level you are. If you're level 30, under, you're an Archer. If you're above that, you're usually a Bard. If you're not a Bard by level 60, then please go do that, because it gives you more damage of what little damage you have anyway. So, let's get into the abilities. Level 1, you get Heavy Shot, costs 60 TP. Excuse me. It does 150 potency. Not much. And then its additional effect has a 20% chance to cause your next straight shot to be critical damage and require no cast time. So we have a cast time because we have this ability right here, the Warder's Mullet. So mallet, something like that. Mullet. It's the Wanderer's mullet. It's it's bringing it back. Good for you. Anyways, just a joke. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at English, even though I'm an English speaker. But still kind of early and had kind of a tough morning. But I'm hoping this guide will work for me because nothing else seems to start. So where were we? So level 1, you obviously get Heavy Shot, just 140 potency, 20% chance to the straight shot to deal critical damage. What is straight shot? Well, straight shot delivers attack potency of 140, 60 TP. Its additional effect is increases your critical rate by 10% for 20 seconds. So again, this will cause this to crit. Really, that's it. Raging Strikes increases damage dealt by 20% for 20 seconds. DPS cooldown, use it. Very helpful. Venomous Bite deals a potency of 100. Additional effect is Venom, potency of 35, duration 18 seconds. Its additional effect is when you do damage over time is critical, so when it makes big numbers, there's a 50% chance Bloodletter's recast will be reset. And Bloodletter is this. Bloodletter deals an attack of 150 potency and it shows a recast timer with random death. It's right here. This ability is not on the global, so use this ability outside of when you're on global cooldown of your main global. Repelling Shot delivers a potency of 80, and you jump 10 lambs. I'm gonna say 10 yards because that makes more sense to me. 10 yards backwards. It's basically their yardage in this game, but man, hey, when you make shit up like that, you can't execute it when you're bound, so like rooted into the ground, or obviously you can't move. I only use this when I'm close to a boss or there's some kind of movement going on. And then, let's see what's next. Quick Nook delivers a potency of 110 to all enemies. AoE cone, very simple to use. Good for early on leveling, but there's a better AoE. And I think it costs more. Yeah, about 20 more. Swift Song increases the movement speed of you and your party members. As long as they're made with a distance. This is the first song you get as an Archer. It's an Archer song, but Bard gets some pretty cool songs. There's some good ones that are very helpful to the raid. So, Hawkeye's Eyes increases dex by 15% and guaranteed all your attacks will land for 20 seconds. Again, another good DPS cooldown. Use it. Wind Bite. You get level 30. Deals wind damage with a potency of 60. Wind damage over time 45. Duration 18 seconds. This ability also has the same additional effect as Venomous Bite, where when it critical strikes, there's a 50% chance Bloodletter will reset. So once again, make sure you watch this ability. Quelling Strikes just reduces our hate we gain. So use that if you feel like the tank is going to be losing aggro soon or during AoE. This is good for any other class that can use this too. Because sometimes during AoE fights, some tanks have a little bit trouble holding AoE. I say some. There's quite a few out there that I've seen that had to happen to. Barrage multiplies the number of non-critical strikes for a single target weapon skill by 3. Additional effect added only once. So any additional effects that anything has will only be added once. So if it's a dot or if it's some kind of debuff. But the ability you'll be using it on won't do anything of that. So that's good. Blunt Arrow delivers a potency of 50. A silence attack. It's an additional effect is silence for 1 second. I use this mainly on movement. If I have to move real quick or something like that. Flaming Arrow. Sets the ground ablaze, dealing a potency of 35 to any enemy who enters the flames for 30 seconds. This, I sometimes use in my single target. Most times, a lot of time, all the time I use it in any multi-target situation. Wide Volley. It delivers a potency of 110 to all enemies nearby. Those are about the same, aren't they? Yeah. So these two are basically the same thing. But I use Wide Volley over Quick Nuke because Wide Volley is all around the enemy, and this is just like in a cone. And cones are very picky sometimes. We'll go into the traits. Heavier Shot adds 20% chance an extra straight shot will deal critical damage. And then if you're under the effect of the Wanderer's Minute? I don't know. Whenever you're under your cast thingy, I mean, the Bard or the Machinist one's so much easier. Goth round. Your next straight shot won't have the cast time, which is good. So everything has a cast time when you're in this ability here. We'll go over that in a little bit. Enhanced Dexterity. Increases Dexterity by 2. Enhanced Dexterity 4. Increased action damage. You deal more base damage. Enhanced Venomous Bite. It's now 18 seconds, so it lines up with Venomous or Wind Bite. Wind Bite. Enhanced Raging Strike reduces the cooldown to 120 seconds, so now it's just a flat 2-minute cooldown. Damn gold sellers. Damn you gold sellers. Increased Dexterity by 6. That's another thing. Like, Quick Nuke is kind of close to melee because it needs to be... Well, now, not anymore because now it's 12 yards. Again, increased damage. Enhanced Barrage increases to 3 instead of 2. River of Blood gives you the 50% chance to do critical damage by Venomous Bite or Venomous Bite or Wind Bite will reset Bloodletter's cooldown. This also resets Rain of Death also, so that's good because they both share cooldowns. Now, from level 30, you get Mage's Ballad, which refreshes your own and your MP of your nearby party members while lowering your own damage by 15%. So while you are singing the song, your MP is drained. The refresh select is lost if your party member moves out of the hearing distance and ends upon reuse. So say, for instance, you play the song, and the song goes off, yay, yay, mana for all, especially if your healer's low on mana. It's very good if your healer's low on mana. Not for you, of course, because you'll eventually run out of mana, which will happen. So if your healer's ever low on mana, and they need mana really bad, they're like, oh, I'm dying of not having mana, because they're not very good with mana. But most times these days, I don't see a lot of healers struggling with mana at all. It's kind of funny. The real reason is why we want to use most of our mana on is Foe's Requiem. Reduces all enemies' magic resistance by 10%. MP is draining while singing. This doesn't, we don't lose 50% damage or anything like that. Again, if the mob moves out and then it's like, oh, it's gone. It cannot be used with any other song. So the 3 main songs you have in this game are these 3. These are the main songs. This really isn't a song. It's a cooldown. It's not a cooldown. It's a thing we use and we forget. It's a use and forget kind of thing. Same thing with this one. But they're considered songs in a way, because But Foe's Requiem, it's a. If you have a caster in your group, period, use it. I don't use it when there's all melee, because some melee don't have magic damage and some do, and it really I don't know. Someone said, "Well, if your healer deals damage, sure, you could use it then." And it's like, well, I'll just save my mana for if healers are ever in trouble with mana needs. Or another one is Army's Peon, or Peon. I'm gonna call it Army's Peon. There we go. refreshing your own TP and TP of one of your players. This is great for when you have to AoE. And again, if there's a melee in your group, this is great for when you have to, again, you lose 50%, 50, holy shit, if you lost 50% damage, it'd be amazing. Just kidding. You lose 15% damage, which is a great, sacrifice for this. Get down here. I don't know why I'm up there. You lose 15% of your damage. Again, if the guy goes out of hearing range, he's lost sight of you, can't hear you. And it ends if you reuse it. So, it's simplest. You play it. Yay, now everyone has TP. Hey, you just use it. It goes away. So depending on the situation, usually I don't use this one at all unless it's a heavy AoE situation. But even then, I have a personal cooldown that I use before I even consider using this. Because sometimes, if there's a lot of AoE damage going out, healers are going to be low on mana. I use this. Now, Battle Voice is the final bard ability you get from a Realm Reborn, which doubles the effectiveness of Mage's Ballad, Foe's Requiem, and Army's Peon on party members and enemies. So I think it's double, so I guess it's 20%, and then faster regeneration of mana and TP. It depends, once again, if I have like 2 or 3, like say I'm running the Alexander raid or the a raid of some sort, or a what is it, the Void Arc. I've only done that once. I don't think I can go back to that. It was like LFR. It's funny shit. I'd go back just to watch people die, just to be like, oh look, I dodged that. But so it doubles the effectiveness of Mage's Ballad, Foe's Requiem, and Army's Peon. Use this on either Mage's Ballad or Foe's Requiem. If your healers are so low on mana, go Mage's Ballad and then pop this. So you just be like doo doo doo, I'm playing my little song, and then you have this going, and then Battle Voice. Otherwise, yeah. So then you have, now your healers are generating mana beyond mana. Like I've seen healers go from no mana to like almost full mana because of this combination here. And plus, if a healer's smart, they have their refresh, their regen mana too. On top of this, you want to see mana for days. And then there's the what is it? The Astros, the astrologers thingy with the Ewer card that they use. I've seen a guy hold on to that, say, "Hey, I need mana," and I would play Mage's Ballad, and I'm like, "Oh, and Battle Voice it too," because I never really used Battle Voice. And he went from like no mana to full mana. It's like, that's pretty strong. That's pretty good. So let's go. So then 52, you get the Wanderer's Mallet. Bash him in the head with it. Mull it, something like that. I don't know. So basically, all it does is increases the damage dealt by 30% while casting auto attacks and while casting auto attacks, while seizing auto attacks and adding a cast time to all archer and bard weapon skills. It's not exactly all of it. This does not have a cast time. These do not have cast times. And this does not have cast time. And this does not have cast time. So Flaming Arrows, Rain of Death, Bloodletter, and Sidewinder, or Sidewinder. Sidewinder. I don't think Winder's a word. It's maybe Sidewinder. Wide Volley has a cast time. But Repelling Shot, Blunt Shot. I'll get that in a second. Shadow Bind, and then Bloodletter, and Flaming Arrow, and Rain of Death. I've already said that twice. But those 6 abilities right there do not have cast times. They're not very specific on what they mean. Imperial Arrow delivers a potency of 220. It can only be executed while under the effects of your little song thing. So you can only use this. You can only use this when you're under the Wanderer's mallet. I'm gonna call it mallet because it just sounds cooler. You just bash people in the head with a mallet now. It does 220 potency, and its weapon skill does not share recast. So basically, what that means is if, say, I cast this ability, I can go straight into this ability. So you could basically follow in with that for any global cooldown. So you can use it off global, but it has a cast time, which is weird. So I always found that kind of weird myself, but I was like, whatever. Makes, another global cooldown ability. Iron Jaws delivers attack potency of 100. Again, the same thing can only be it can only be executed under the effects of Wanderer's Mallet. I'm gonna call it Wanderer's Mallet, right? Wanderer's Mallet. Additional effect: if the target is suffering from venomous bite or wind bite, those timers are reset to their full timers. So basically, what you do is if you put your dots on, these are your dots. You're like, oh, my dots are getting low, and you don't have to spend two globals anymore, and they're both now lined up 18-17 seconds. This also takes into the effect of snapshotting, I believe. So if you don't know what snapshotting is, quick little recap for you is snapshotting is when you have cooldowns that you use that increase your damage. Your dots will take from that the next time you do it. So say I just pop all my cooldowns in the book and I refresh my dots, and they're dealing way more damage now. So, but dot snapshotting is very beneficial for Summoner and a lot of other classes, but I don't tend to mess with it because it's kind of annoying. So you see, I will now switch my new dots are dealing less damage, kind of. No, they're not. See, let's try this again. Yeah, see, now they're dealing less damage. So as you can tell, that this thing does come to snapshotting. So if you are going to snapshot, just remember, when you have cooldowns, refresh your dots. They will deal more damage. And just use Iron Jaw. And make sure you use Iron Jaw to refresh your dots most of the time. I usually have like a good window sometimes. So say like these are about to fall off. You're like, oh no, you're in the middle of a cast, and it's like, and it's like, oh, they fell off. No, you got them. Like there's a good couple seconds after they fall off to switch them back on real quick. And then there's the Warden's Pia, which adds a barrier on the party member or pet, nullifying the next detrimental effects suffered, and it can be used with other songs. I don't know how this works. I really don't. I'm gonna say that right now. I've put it on a tank. I guess it's like a shield of some sort. I put it on a tank, and yay. I guess that's it. And then Sidewinder, or Sidewinder, whatever. I have Sidewinder. It delivers attack potency of 100, but its additional effect is if the target is suffering from venomous bite or wind bite, the effect is increased potency based on one dot for 175 or for both 250. This is your hardest hitting ability in the game. Kind of sad. That's why the Bard's kind of weak. They don't have very hard hitting abilities. But I think the Bard and the Machinist are both considered support classes. They can give the group mana back. They can give the group TP. They can make the boss take more damage and all that kind of good stuff. So let's get into the additional class things you have. So I have these. These are the main three I've been using. But someone came to me and said, if you have to go on the move for the Machinist, use Feint. Right. I'm in combat. So I'm like, he says he uses Feint for movement. So I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. So I haven't tried this yet at all. I keep forgetting about it. But it's a consideration in my mind. I'll put it here. But this could be used. But for Bard, you have so many other abilities you could use to move with. And the Machinist has like one or two. This has like 3 or 4 just baseline. So maybe you wouldn't really need this. But if you do, then you can use it. Otherwise, that's all I really use. I mean, you can use, again, Mantra for rate healing, Second Wind for healing yourself. I think you can really use Haymaker as a Bard. But, okay. You don't have fist weapons, which is always weird. So, let's get into the rotation. Now, rotation is very simple. For level 50, you are all about instacasts. So level 50, you could just kind of be like, oh, look at me, I'm an instacast person, yay. This is usually for people that are just like getting to level 50 and they kind of want to know a little bit more about their rotation before they get to their new abilities that totally, make them go, what? So, for instance, everything is instacast because you're not under this effect, so you have auto attacks and all that. So, see, auto attacks. So, what I normally do as the start is I just pop all my cooldowns. I'm just like, every cooldown, and then I apply straight shot. And during globals, I use my non-global abilities that are non-global. Barrage, and then heavy shot. On level 50, use heavy shot. And then you just kind of do the same thing after that. You use heavy shot when you have nothing else to do. Refresh your dots up as they're about to fall off. And then use your execute. I think I missed that ability. Misery's End, it's an execute. Deals 190 potency. It can only be used below 20% health. Make sure you use this before it resets, because sometimes it'll reset and you'll be in the middle of using it and it won't count, which sucks, but that's gonna happen. And you just spam heavy shot once you're kind of in that, once you get it down, make sure you refresh straight shot before it falls off, refresh your dots before they fall off, and just kind of keep that up. Very simple. Very simple, right? Okay, let's get to level 60. This it makes it more fun at level 60 because you have a few more abilities. So as you can see how it kind of spins like that. So at level 60, excuse me, I'm not feeling good this morning. I didn't want to do this, but I had a tough morning. But I gotta get this. I gotta get this done, and I gotta do some other things. But I'll probably delay that for the weekend. Also, I hope you guys enjoyed Legacy Wood. So do we wait for cooldowns? Nah, not really. Fuck cooldowns. It's not really, cooldowns aren't really important, guys. So the opener for my level 60 bard is a lot different from, I don't know, maybe other bards, but I like to do it this way. This helps out a lot. So what I do is I'm like, every cooldown in the book, I start off with I start off with a straight shot before I pop my cooldowns. So it's like say I go, okay, well then I use my cooldown, so I'm like, 3, 4, shift 1, shift 2, and then cooling shot. I don't know that. Okay. So here's how I start. Since all my cooldowns are off. So I go straight shot, Raging Strikes, Hawkeye, Internal Release, Blood for Blood, Wind Bite, Blood Letter, Venomous Bite, Barrage, Imperial Arrow, Sidewinder, and then into Heavy Shot. And then I'll refresh my dots one more time. There we go. Before my damage cooldowns fall off. That way I can have more empowered dots with the snapshotting and all that. And then I just continue this. And I use Imperial Arrow on cooldown, Iron Jaw to refresh dots, Straight Shot to refresh. Oh, and then I usually put this down. At least in times of cooldowns, I put this down. Otherwise, I don't really use it unless it's AoE. But I may be wrong about that. Just like that one ability, And you see how Straight Shot procs insta cast. Misery End is also off the global cooldown and does not have cast time. So not every ability has cast times. So you can, jumping out with that. But, that's basically it for Bard. Really not that hard of a class. Kind of a quicker guide than most guides because this really doesn't have much to worry about. It's got a DPS increase. Unlike Machinist is like straight 30% increase. This is 10% critical strike. And then you got dots, but you have a lot of cooldowns to go with. I think you bring a little bit more to the raid than a Machinist. Maybe? Probably not really. I think it's about the same. I think the Machinist brings like one more thing than you. But your Foe's Requiem is a lot longer than theirs because Machinist's is, I think it's like 10 to 15 seconds or something like that. It's like and plus you have to have a certain turn out for it. And I'm pretty sure most Machinists use a single target turn anyways on like single target boss fights. But I'm pretty sure most bards are probably bought to raid for their songs and not their damage, obviously. So yeah. God damn it. Oh, excuse me. I guess I'm not feeling too good. But have to knock this guide out because Christmas time is right around the corner and I'm not going to be home next week. or next weekend. This weekend I'll be home, so this weekend and half of next week I'm gonna be like prepping for all that. But yeah, so what else is there to talk about? I think that's about it. I feel like I'm going a little too fast. If I went a little too fast, please let me know. It'd probably be a shorter guide than usual. Maybe. Where is this? Oh, I think I know where this is being recorded to. Oh, well, that's fine. I can move it around. But, anyways, thank you guys for watching this guide. It is the Bard. So if you guys enjoyed Bard, this is the last DPS guide I'm going to do. I think hopefully next week I'm going to find some time to revise the Black Mage guide. I've already started working on this script for it, which is amazing. It's not really a script, it's more like guidelines for myself. Then after that, once I get home, I'm going to finish leveling my warrior. I may make a tanking guide, I may not, depends. Probably it's a bit tough. I've already been thinking about, well, how would I make this guide and all that stuff. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you guys have enjoyed this guide. I'm going to stop capturing now. And I'm going to get ready to do a dungeon for you guys for the gameplay part of the Bard, so you can see the rotation a bit more in action than me shooting a dummy for 5 to 10 minutes. I think it's better for gameplay too, because then you see like different fights and all that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. I will see you guys in the gameplay.